Hello and welcome to another podcast edition of Taiwan Talk, ICRT's weekly interview segment, bringing you conversations from and about Taiwan. I'm Keith Manconi. Today, we've got a return guest to the program. He is perhaps the most prominent expat performer working in Taiwan right now, certainly the most prominent from Turkey. We are talking about Wu Feng right here. He joined the show a number of years ago to discuss his fascinating career, what it took to break into Taiwan's entertainment industry, becoming a travel host who does the vast majority of his hosting work all in Chinese, which, is quite a feat, and all the other work that he's done in the media landscape here in Taiwan. He's done quite a bit of it. He recently added one more notch to his media belt, releasing a Chinese-language travel book that kind of draws on his extensive travel experiences and gives readers a chance to see Taiwan travel through his eyes. He joined me in the ICRT studio recently to talk about the book, and, well, the conversation kind of took on a life of its own, as you're going to hear. In the second half of the interview, we got his take on Taiwan's entertainment industry, the future of travel, and kind of more broadly, just some of the things that he sees as some big challenges looming on the horizon for Taiwan. So a whole bunch of stuff that we got into. Do stay tuned for that coming up. But first, we talk about the book. All right, Wu Feng, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. This is my first time in your studio.
Well, very glad to have you right here. And so today, obviously, we're going to be talking about your new book,
Yep.
xÄWWay.
xÄWWay.
Exactly. And so you have been in the media landscape in Taiwan for quite a long time now. Pretty much every form of media you could think of, you've done it. You've done the talk shows, you've done commercials, you have done the travel shows is what you're most known for. So, and TV, movies, everything. A little bit of writing thrown in the mix. But really, the travel shows has been your bread and butter. Now
Yeah.
you're out with this book, which is taking on travel in Taiwan. So I just want to know what is new about this project for you? I mean, obviously, you've been so much in the TV sort of world. What is new about making a travel book?
Actually, in Taiwan, writing a travel book is always challenging because everybody in Taiwan know the places that they've been.
Right.
But in this book, I just want to tell the people about my story because it's already it's been 5 years I'm doing this show, and I saw many people, and I put their story in the book. So I saw many beautiful places. I caught a lot of fishes. I mean, I experienced the culture from the first hand. That's why I put my feelings in the book. Otherwise, if you want to write a book, it's very easy. I mean, especially a travel book in Taiwan, you can write. You can write Hualien, you can write many other places.
We all know the places.
We all know the places. The problem is you need to write something that people never experienced before.
Finds a new angle on it.
Yeah, that's why in this book I just try to find some new spots for the people that they never been before, and I put some people's stories in the book and my experiences because most of the foreigners are in Taiwan, like traveling. And I'm also traveling, but when I was traveling in Taiwan for 5 years, I met the people from the local area, and then I did their job with them. So this is the difference between me and the other foreigners. Because if you are a traveler, you don't have time to know the real local people. But while I'm shooting, I do what they do, I eat what they eat, and then I doing my hosting stuff, and I also travel. That's why I put many other stuff in my book, and I want to let the people know more about Taiwan, but from the perspective of a Turkish guy.
Right, and I think that is what you are bringing to this. That's probably quite a bit different from other travel writers that have approached this before. We should tell our listeners, this book is all in Chinese. It's aimed at a Taiwan, or at least a Mandarin-speaking audience. And so the idea really here is, I'm going to go to these places that you already know, but I'm going to show you why it's exciting to me.
Yes.
And maybe you can learn something from that.
Yes, because sometimes I can tell people that I'm going to show you Hualien. The people think that what is new about Hualien, because I've been to Hualien. But in my book, I say them. But in Hualien, there is some kind of fun you never tried before. So I introduced them that attraction. So they never know it. For example, my book's cover is from Taiwan, right? If you ask 100 Taiwanese the photo, where is the photo is coming from, maybe 70% of the people, they don't know it. So that's why in this book I spent my almost like 5 years to collect all the information, because this book I started to do my hosting in 2011, and this book has the story from 2011 till 2016, almost 5 years. I put 5 years experiences in my book, and it took me wrote already like 1 year. So it looks like an easy book, but for me, I need to wait for 5 years to have this book on my hand.
Well, if there's one guy who's qualified to plan a trip in Taiwan, it's definitely you. I've planned a couple of trips for new guests to Taiwan before, and I could have used this. I'm pretty sure I could have used this.
You can.
Okay, so lay it on us. Give us a couple of the examples of what are some things that you feel like you've discovered in the last 5 years that people are missing out on.
Actually, most of the people are asking us, the foreigners, what do you like in Taiwan? Everybody says Taiwanese people are really lovely, Taiwan is beautiful, everybody's talking about the ocean is nice, Kending is good, Hualien is something. But I think the best places of Taiwan is the mountains. I'm coming from Turkey. My area, not to Turkey, but my area where I'm living in Turkey, we don't have high mountains. And in Taiwan, I discovered there are very, high mountains that I never saw in my land, in my country before. In my city.
Yeah.
And then I discovered that everybody asked me the question, okay, Wu Feng, what is the most beautiful place of Taiwan? I think the most beautiful place of Taiwan is always the mountains. I never thought that Taiwan has so many beautiful islands. So many beautiful mountains, I'm sorry. And then mountains, green, forests, and I like the nature. And also, plus, I like the people's attitude. I like their way of treating foreigners. Whatever you do, they all say, welcome to Taiwan.
Right.
They are doing their best to introduce everything, what they have, and then they welcome us.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine. I'm sure that there's a lot of people in Taiwan that are pretty outdoorsy, but I really can't imagine most of my Taiwanese friends, they have a weekend off, they have a couple of days to go out and do something fun. I don't think that mountains would occur to most of them. They would be more thinking along the lines of, let's go to a Laotie, let's go to some old street, let's go to, the beach, something more like that. And
I also do the same thing, but, the book has something different than the others. Like, I can't connect with the local people. For example, when you are climbing or when you are buying something from the local, just say, okay, give me this, how much? For 50 NT, you buy and you leave it. But I spent very long time with these people, so I put their stories in my book. So I can feel that these people are the power of Taiwan, because 50 years ago, these people, they went through the agriculture revolution of Taiwan, and they know the stories. They know poor Taiwan, and they know the rich Taiwan, and they know the difference. So I spend the time with these people, and I can learn a lot of things from them. So I can put their knowledge in the book and let the people know about that Taiwan's past.
Right. Yeah, you talk to anybody here that's over the age of 70, and they have some stories to tell you. And so do you feel like there's almost people in Taiwan might take that for granted, and they might not even think about it, and so seeing this through your eyes maybe gives them a chance to reflect on that a little bit and have an opportunity to think about it again?
Yeah, this is what I want to write about the book, that I don't want to let the people know about that everybody knows. That's why I just put the book, like, for example, in my book, like page 107, I did a local traditional cooking. Actually, the foreigners, they never touch this kind of stuff in Taiwan because we don't think that it's fun. But in my TV show, I did, because I want to learn about it, and I discovered that this is very fun and this is very old culture. But it's very interesting that I put this in my travel book. It's not about travel. It's just about a culture experience.
Right.
Yeah, this is, for example, the difference, my book and the other books, the travel books. And, for example, catching some crazy fish on the sea. And we are shooting for almost like 5 or 6 hours for 5 minutes. I mean, this is
5 minutes of TV. Yeah,
5 minutes on TV, but I need to wait for like 5 or 6 hours. So the people, they don't know it. So that's why I just want to put these kind of stories in the book that let them know that actually we are really, working very hard to do this show.
Right. Yeah. There's that is a really interesting part of the book. That's one thing you definitely won't find in most travel books. Is it comes along with a lot of stories. For example, it caught my eye. One, you kind of invited yourself into a vendor's stand and helped them sell their product, and ended up helping them probably sell more than they would have.
Everything.
And so these little stories kind of illustrate some of the fun things that are waiting for people out there.
For example, I've been to many places in Taiwan, like temples, but I'm not believing that gods. Because I'm a Muslim guy.
Right.
But the thing is, I don't care about any religion. I just do it just as a human. So I pray with them in the temple, or I go with them to other places that, local gods,
right,
that I don't believe in my own religion, but it's okay. It's not about the religion. I just want to learn. So the people, they really like the way of how I look Taiwan, because when I do my job, I just don't think any religion or any race. I just do it just as a human. So I go to temples, I pray, and then I see the gods, I listen to stories, and I put the differences, what I saw in my book, and let the people know about that what a foreigner thinks about their local religious events. This is a very, I think, it's a very important thing.
Right. Well, it's very interesting. So and maybe this gets at something even a little bit beyond the book, but for you, your approach to traveling is really a lot about just being open to any new experience.
Everything. I eat pork. That I don't eat pork actually in my life.
Yeah.
But I eat pork for the TV show and for the experience. I hate, for example, like parasailing. I don't like it. But I introduce it in my book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've got to give it a review.
Yeah. So
will you tell us? Will you tell us when you didn't like something?
I always tell.
Okay.
For example, parasailing. In this book, we already introduced parasailing in this book, like Tiao Fei Xing San in Chinese.
Yeah.
And at that time, I waited for 2 hours to make it. And I say to the audience, I say that, friends, I'm afraid of this thing, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to try. And then after 2 hours, I tried it. And
you still didn't like it?
I still don't like it, but it's good. It's good on the air. You like it. Everybody likes it. When you achieved it, you like it.
Yeah.
But next time I already told the audience, I said that, okay, this thing, I'm afraid. Next time, I'm not going to do it. But if you feel very good, if you want to dare, just come here and you can try, because you can see very beautiful Pacific Ocean from the sky of Ilan. So the many things in this book is I tried for the first time in my life, and maybe more, some of them maybe the last time in my life. But I just put in the book with the humor, with the Chinese style humor, and then share with the people like what I like, what I don't like. So what I like, maybe what I'm gonna do with my family, or maybe what I'm not going to do with my family. I just put it like what is that? I just shared the pure feelings of myself and about Taiwan.
I want to move past the book in just 1 second to some of the topics that you were talking about right there. But before we leave the book, could you give us just one more example of a place that you feel like you discovered that you can recommend to our listeners?
For example, Taiwanese audience, Taiwanese people, and maybe if they want to experience something really different, they can go to Taidong. And I'm just now looking at my book, and I said that the air balloon. Air balloon is very good.
Yeah. Because
I'm from Turkey, and in Cappadocia we have like thousands of air balloons, and people are always talking about it because it's an international area. And I think that if Taiwanese have time in summer, they can go to Taidong and experience it in their own place.
Right.
Because Taiwanese always like to praise other countries. Oh, you're American, I love your country. Oh, you're so good. Like they always say that about very good things about the other countries. But actually, Taiwan is a very beautiful place, and they have the similar things in their island. So maybe they can try Taidong from the other perspective. They can go to Taidong, but next time if they go to Taitung, they can try. They can try the hot air balloon, and they're gonna see the very, very beautiful and very different Taitung.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It can be scary, though, up in those things. I've had a couple of friends that have gone up there, and they said, if the wind picks up a little bit.
So that's why I just say to people, very less people, it's very expensive, it's 8,000 NT. It's not cheap.
I just got a phone for that much.
Yeah. But I just want to tell the people that if you want to do this kind of challenge, you can try. Or if you want to do something that you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want to discover the Taiwan, beautiful place of Taiwan, you can challenge Tianshi de Yanlei Jiaminghu. This is a very beautiful, high, what is that? I don't know what is in English. It's like a high mountain lake. It's a lake on the very high mountain.
I don't think that we've made a word for that. I think it's a high mountain lake.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's what it is.
That's why I'm so sorry about my broken English. But anyway, this place is very good. So if you try, I never climbed before. This is my first time for the real climbing, like 3,000 is almost 3,500 meters, and it's like very challenging. Like 4 days, 3 nights, I spent like 30 kilometers with my friends, and I really discovered one of the most beautiful places, maybe not just in Taiwan, in the world. You can show you. This is the Jiaminghu.
See, I've never seen that on a travel guide in Taiwan before. So, yeah, you did pick up something new.
Yeah, because I want to put some some spots that very less people been, and I put some nature. I introduced some fish that they never saw before. So this is about like fun, culture, and then religious events for local people, and also food and the local culture is all in the book.
Yeah. All right, let's move this conversation even a little bit beyond the book, because you've actually you've been on Taiwan Talk before a number of years ago, back I think it was in 2013, and just in general, you've been on the scene in Taiwan media, as I said, for quite a long time. You've been around, and so kind of picking up on one of the things that you were talking about there, just on how your focus is always on finding the new way to approach something, finding the new angle or the new perspective or the new approach. I mean, you're the travel show, you've been in it for 5 years. At a certain point, Taiwan is only so big. Does that become a challenge to find the new angle? For
example, Kate, I always say good things about Taiwan, but I'm an entertainer. I make my money from this business, and sometimes you are from United States. And when I watch the American movies, or some real good American comedians or really entertainers, I sometimes very envy what they have there, what they create. You know what I mean? Actually, I did this show for 5 years, and it's really very fun to do. To be in this show and make my money. But I need to improve myself. Taiwan is so big, that big. You can't create a lot of TV, a lot of like travel shows. We have more travel shows than United States. There is a problem. There's a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why, as an entertainer, I'm thinking that I need to create something that they never experienced before. That's why I'm doing Chinese stand-up comedy. I'm the only. I'm not talking that big, but I'm the only foreigner that do Chinese stand-up comedy in front of 800 people.
You know why? Because that sounds terrifying. I can barely speak Chinese in front of one person without getting scared. That sounds terrifying.
It's terrifying. I still feel very nervous in front of the audience. But what I want to do is, I want to create nice stuff, entertaining stuff that they never saw before, so I can improve myself. Maybe from Taiwan, I can jump to the other stage. For example, Malaysia. For example, Singapore. Or if I continue to do this way, maybe I can go to China, mainland China, so I can do. Mainland Chinese TV station, they came and they gave me a chance to do show, like a audition. I did the audition and they love it. They say that this is good because they never saw it in mainland China. I did it in a very modern way, not very, very old traditional way.
Right.
They like it and they invite me to their show in Shanghai. But the problem is, I'm coming from Turkey. We have problems with the governments in these days, and I couldn't get my visa. Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
If I had a chance to be in that show, I would be very good. In Chinese, they say "fa guang fa re." I will be, like blazing, like burning, smoking. You know what I mean?
So we need to beat down the doors at that embassy, get them to issue that visa.
Yeah, I need to get the visa. I hope, the Turkish government or president.
No, but then they take you away from us, so we can't let that happen.
No, I mean, Taiwan is good. I like it. I like this place. But if you have some dreams about the stage or about entertainment, you always want to do different stuff.
Right.
That's why in these days I'm thinking maybe creating a YouTube show so I can share other stories with the Taiwanese people, because the budgets are very weak in Taiwan. I have a talent, but the problem is, if I have a talent, it's not enough. The bosses of the TV stations or who has the power, they have to give us enough space to create more.
Well, I think a lot of people are talking about this in Taiwan right now. There's a lot of people that are, it's not just entertainment either. It's tech. It's sports even. People are saying, where are the new big ideas going to come from? Where is the creativity, the innovation? How does that happen? But one of the reasons that all this stuff does happen in the U.S. is because there's entire cities that are set up for this, and that's in L.A. That's all anybody ever thinks about is how to make good entertainment. How do you replicate that? I mean, you're one guy with some ideas, but without that network, without having all of those people working together, how can you really make something new and interesting happen? In
United States, why they are successful for entertainment business is because 50 years ago, they cultivating the people. They spend time on the people. They spend time on the correct people, always cultivate. I don't know what is English, it's like peiyang. What?
We can say cultivate, yeah.
Cultivate, right? Yeah, spend time on the people and always teach like a sculpture.
Yeah.
You need to, to do it with the care. And then after 5 years later, 6 years later, you're going to have a very beautiful sculpture. You're going to have a very beautiful, a statue. You need to spend time, first of all. You need to spend money, other stuff. And you need to believe yourself. For example, when I came to Taiwan 10 years ago, right? Okay, we are talking about Taiwan 10 years ago. In these 10 years, tell me one of the best and most famous Asian stars. One, Korea, PSY, right? Why Korea? They spend time on these guys. They spend money on these guys, and they have the direction. Okay, what is the most, in these 2-3 years, tell me a very famous Taiwanese drama, very famous, all around Asia. Can you name? Nothing. This is a problem. You know what I mean? Because
we still got the market covered on the variety programs.
I mean, we are not criticizing, but I just say that if you continue this way, it's look like a Taiwanese entertainment business. It's like a Titanic, right? We are going through, against to the iceberg, and I can say to people, if you don't change the course, you're going to hit this iceberg. Because, first of all, we have a lot of TV shows that we don't need to do anymore. We can change. We can talk. We can try to create some new stuff like sitcoms. Maybe they can try some sitcoms. In Taiwan, we don't have any sitcom.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you bring up the internet situation, because it does seem like there are, if you were looking for the new exciting ideas, the internet, YouTube specifically, is where I would look. I mean, there's a lot of new comedy channels that are popping up here and there with some pretty interesting ideas. And there's a lot of people that are doing similar, not exactly the same, but similar work to you. There's xÄWWay Kan Taiwan, and then there's... that's what I was going to say. Oh, you know him, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And so would you say that kind of work, that's leading towards the future that you want to see?
Because these people are very smart people. Like Jesus, the Spanish guy, he's a very good guy, and I always, talk with him. And we have ideas.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the bosses of the TV stations, they don't have ideas. If they don't have ideas, they still always repeating themselves. And after a couple of months later, they say that this doesn't work. But we already said it 2 years ago. So that's why I think that these bosses need to find these guys and talk together. What can we do for Taiwanese entertainment? So what is our direction? First, in 2 years, we want to create a very good sitcom. Can we? So we need to find these people and try to write. For example, we need to create some other song or something. But we need to spend time on the correct people. If you spend time on not a correct, the 对的人, You can't create an NBA player. You know why NBA is so successful? They spend a lot of time on these people, and they just choose the best players of the world, and they give them chance to play. If they play, they stay in the business. But if they can't play, they just leave the NBA. The same thing in Taiwan. We just spend a lot of time on the not correct, incorrect people. So what we have on our hands. That's why I did this show with my love, with the pure feelings. I love these beautiful islands for 5 years. But if I continue this way, I'm not going to be here I'm not going to make it for next 5 years, because I already said it. Now Taiwan is going through a red alert for entertainment and TV. So we need to find a way to rebuild our entertainment business.
Revitalize, yeah.
Yeah, revitalize. Otherwise, a lot of people will lose their jobs, not like me, or many other like cameramen, or maybe directors, or maybe other managers that really very good people. They're going to lose their job. This is a problem.
Now let me take us on to even more dangerous territory.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm getting.
Yeah. No, it'll be fine. We'll get through this okay. Well, let me set this up by saying, like, foreign perspectives are a source of strength for any country, and I totally believe that. If you look in the United States, there are so many professions, very high technology professions, very smart people coming from all over the world. I mean, that's one of the main reasons the U.S. is so successful. Not because our education system is so good.
They collect the talented people.
Yeah, we collect the talent that other countries worked hard to make these smart people, and we just we attracted them over. Do you feel like that, having that foreign perspective in Taiwan, I mean, it sounds like you feel like that is a source of strength. How do you apply that when you approach these new problems in Taiwan? How do you use that foreign perspective to, make something new and interesting here?
I think what I just said before, they need to give us more space. They don't need to put us, the foreigners, in a box that, hey, 你可以跟我们讲一下吗？台湾哪里最好玩? They always put us in this area. Like they give us, like, for example, one small box, and they say that you play in this box. But another problem, we studied. We are coming from different backgrounds. I studied 3 universities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I studied 3 universities, and I studied like script writing. I studied stage in the art school, and they asked me, please introduce me to Royuan. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a very specific role that we're put in.
I mean, I don't say that I'm very talented, but I say that I have a skill. But they give me, for example, you play very good basketball, for example. But they say me, okay, you're going to play basketball, but you don't need to make 3-point shot. You just give the ball. So you will going to give the ball forever, for 10 years, 20 years. And they're expecting more. So that's why there are very talented people from all around the world. In Taiwan also we have, not like in the United States, because the money is there. So the most talented people are going there. If I want to go there, I need to be very, very, very good. Not very good. I need to be very, very, very good. But I don't need to be very, very, very good in Taiwan, because we even don't have good. So I don't need to be very, very, very good. I'm very good. So it's very.
But you can get by with adequate.
Yeah, but I don't have that credit. I don't have that time. They always expect us to say something always about like food, always about this kind of stuff. So how can I do it by myself?
Yeah.
So I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm doing my TV shows. I'm here. I'm sharing my stories and I'm sharing my feelings. This is also a space for us, because maybe some people they don't wanna speak out these things, but this is what come from my heart. So I just speak with the people, because I want Taiwan goes in a better direction. Because if the business good, not just entertainment, if the other business like or high technology or other business or agriculture, if goes good, we're going to have a very, very, very good island. Because Taiwan is now very good, but I want Taiwan goes in the better direction. That's why what I said. I just want the bosses, who has the power of the TVs, they please give us more space and please trust us. Why? We didn't study 5 years. We studied, I have many friends like PhD friends. They have their ideas, but the problem is 你是外国人，你只要告诉我这个是最好吃在哪里。You know, this is everybody can do it. You don't need to be very talented to do this stuff.
All right. This conversation has gone to some very interesting places, and we started just with the travel book. I think that we're going to have to find some way to bring this back to travel. If we can be a little creative right now, just before we wrap things up.
Okay.
But bringing it back to travel, just for 1 second. I mean, okay. So we're talking about the future of media in a lot of different directions. What do you think is the future of travel in Taiwan? I mean, is just maybe even just in terms of taste, in terms of what people are looking for? Is that future changing as well?
You know, traveling in Taiwan is not the problem. I always introduce Taiwan to Taiwanese people. For example, you are from California.
Yeah.
If I introduce you to California, you want to hear? You don't want to hear because you are from California. I just want to introduce Taiwan more people because if my wife knows about Taiwan, it's not a big deal. I want more people outside Taiwan comes to Taiwan for travel. That is what I want. That's why we need to upgrade our buildings. We need to upgrade our restaurants. We need to upgrade our quality of the restaurants. So we can invite more people. We can welcome more people. So in Taiwan, local tourism, that is okay, local tourism. For Taipei people, they are going to Hualien. It's not a problem. But the biggest problem is, if we continue this way, this size of the tourism, you cannot welcome Americans spend money come Taiwan for travel. Maybe 100, maybe 1,000 every year. But 1 million, it's a big dream. You know what I mean? I want more, because Taiwan is a beautiful place. I want we introduce much better.
So what you're saying is you want a chance to write this book in English?
I would. If they had a chance, I would make it in English. But I don't put these restaurants if I do it in English version. Because we are foreigners. We don't go to countries.
That's not what we'd be looking for, yeah.
For example, if you want to eat the food, why I'm going to eat this food? You know what I mean? Because all the foreigners, Americans, Turkish people, if we've traveled around, we are traveling for the international famous spots. Like Dongjing, like Tokyo Tower, you know, the Tokyo, because Tokyo is already international.
Everybody knows Tokyo.
Yeah, or Shanghai, or Beijing, because why? China, the Great China Wall.
Right.
If you think that Great China Wall, I cannot compare the Great China Wall with the food.
Yeah, nobody's going to travel here for the Queen's Head Rock.
No. It's not enough. Sure, but it's not enough. So we need to build perfect new spots or create some stories that people have like interesting.
Right.
So they can spend money.
Well, and I think that that's where somebody like you might come in. You're not going to be the one who's making the buildings, but you could be the person making the stories, explaining, why this is something that people should be paying attention to.
We need to make them interested in Taiwan because in Asia, Thailand, they have beautiful beaches. We cannot compare it. You know what I mean? So just Kending is not enough to compare with the Philippines because they have the big, like just one Okinawa. You know Okinawa? Okinawa's fame. Okinawa's fame is, look, in the world. Ask the people, do you know Taiwan or do you know Okinawa?
Right.
Okinawa is much more.
They'll say Thailand. You mean Thailand?
There is a problem. So we need to spend more time, new commercials, new ideas, spend more time on international world. So tell them our stories that we welcome the people. Because I'm from Turkey, but if you ask me, Wu Feng, Rifat, you like Turkish people more or Taiwanese people more? As a Turkish guy, I'm going to say I like Taiwanese people more. They're gentle. They are warm-hearted. I don't say that we are not warm-hearted. But Taiwan is very pure.
Right.
You know?
But that story hasn't been communicated to the world.
Yeah, but we need to communicate with the world. We cannot always talk about the same news in a small place and think that, everybody knows us.
Right.
Then you leave the Taiwan so you can know that what is the situation of Taiwan. So that's why I always, because I'm a dad, I have a little daughter, 10 months old. I'm going to raise her with the international perspective of the world. Because if you live in a small place for a long, long, long time, you don't see anything, what's happening outside.
Right. Well, we do have to wrap up in just a second, but I think that would make a good closing point. I mean, I think a lot of the issues that you're talking about here is the inward-looking nature, how much many of us here in Taiwan really just focus on Taiwan, maybe China. There's not as much understanding of international news. There's not as much understanding. And this gets directly to what you're saying about how Taiwan is represented to other countries. There's no understanding of what other countries want. So, the tourism promotional material is just, representing what Taiwanese people want. And there's a disconnect there. And so I think, somebody like you who brings a perspective from another country and who's appealing to people in Taiwan, people like you, can show, there's something interesting out there. There's a whole very different way of looking at the world that's available in other countries, and we should put some work into understanding it.
I guess we can talk more about. I think we can share. We can talk more about politically with the other countries next to Taiwan. Maybe they can open more space for the Taiwanese industry. You know what I mean? Because sometimes Taiwanese movies, they are not getting in the other markets. So this is a very big problem. So we can deal with the other countries in a peaceful way. So maybe they can open new spaces for Taiwanese. So we can open a new space for the others. So I hope in maybe in 10 years, at least we have more American tourists. I hope so. We have a couple of, really good entertainers that can attract like Filipinos, can attract Thailand people, can attract more like mainland Chinese, can attract, like more, not locally famous.
Right.
Like regionally famous. At least we can create maybe a couple of new ideas comes out, or maybe one technology. I don't know, because I'm not a high-tech guy. So maybe we can create some technology that they can't. The other countries, maybe they can't. So we can use the power of that technology to reach to more people in the world.
All right. A little look to the future right there from Wu Feng, who we have been talking to today about his new travel book, xÄWWay, which goes into all the ways that he has traveled Taiwan over his last 5 years, tirelessly exploring the ins and outs of every part of Taiwan. So, Wu Feng, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thanks for listening to another podcast edition of Taiwan Talk. Taiwan Talk, of course, broadcasts every Monday at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on ICRT FM 100, right after the top of the hour newscast. You can look for it there. Or you can find an extended version of the interviews, such as the one you just heard, online at the ICRT website, on iTunes. Quite often, we make a post on the ICRT blog, a whole bunch of places you can find. If you are looking to find out more about Wu Feng's book, which once again was xÄWWay, we are going to be posting a link to various sources on the ICRT blog, so you can find all of that right there, and ways to purchase as well. Signing off from the ICRT studio, I am Keith Menconi for ICRT and Taiwan Talk. See you next time.